Floyd Mayweather says he's not just buying buildings, he's building a legacy. But is the champ of Flash facing a financial flop? After claiming a jaw-dropping $42 million real estate power move in Upper Manhattan, Mayweather flexed his solo ownership of 62 buildings, boldly stating, "I spent my own money. No one else is in on this." Yet behind the flash and bravado, whispers are swirling. Do the numbers add up? Or is this the latest chapter in a billionaire persona crumbling under scrutiny? Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Like this video and subscribe. 98% of you watch without subscribing, and it helps a ton. Done? Awesome. Now let's get into it.
So I wired the money to the account, and when I wired it to the account, I went straight to the bank. I go to the bank myself to make sure shit get done. Because the thing is this, I can't make all the money unless somebody else do all the dictating and do all the controlling.
Floyd Mayweather isn't known for playing small. So when he took to the spotlight recently to boast about a $42 million real estate deal, few were surprised by the scale of the announcement. But the specifics turned heads. According to Floyd, the undefeated boxing icon had single-handedly purchased 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan, a move he described as personal, powerful, and entirely independent. "I spent my own money. No one else is in on this," he declared with trademark bravado. This wasn't just a business move, it was a statement. A man from humble beginnings planting his flag in one of the most competitive real estate markets in the world. But almost as soon as the headlines hit, the whispers began. Industry insiders and investigative reporters quickly raised red flags pointing to property records that didn't quite align with Mayweather's claims. In fact, some filings suggested he only owned a minority stake, or that the purchase hadn't even fully closed. A closer look at the deal's structure revealed complications and inconsistencies, with experts suggesting Floyd may have been drawn into an overhyped promotional scheme or was misled about the true terms of ownership.
You want me to show you right now? Call AJ. My sister, she gonna call my pilot right now.
So you just call your pilot and he just come where? It's like an Uber?
Let me show you. AJ.
Hey, what's up?
So yesterday you guys flew over to Vegas to pick.
The numbers didn't quite add up. No clear documentation of a solo $42 million outlay. No public confirmation of building titles changing hands. The deeper you looked, the murkier it got. Suddenly, Floyd's defiant tone sounded less like confidence and more like damage control. Was this deal ever real, or was it a smoke and mirrors play meant to uphold a faltering image of financial dominance? The doubt had crept in, and in the world of celebrity finance, doubt spreads fast. To understand why this real estate claim made such waves, you have to look back at the empire Floyd built, or at least the one he built in public view.
My daughter and mother up, and my daughter and my grandson up, right?
That's correct, yep.
I got tickets for you guys to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow, but I got Dan, he's gonna go. So I need you to fly over there because you gotta pick a couple people up. You gotta pick some people up for me in Vegas, is that okay?
Yeah.
For years, Mayweather has been less of a retired athlete and more of a living monument to unapologetic wealth. He's bragged about making $350 million in a single night, treating multi-million-dollar paydays like just another Tuesday. He travels by private jet as casually as most people call an Uber, and once famously called himself the human ATM, not just because of how much he spent, but how effortlessly he seemed to earn it. His lifestyle is the stuff of legend, a fleet of supercars, each more exotic than the last, parked in multiple cities. A watch collection worth millions, some pieces rumored to cost more than entire houses. Mansions across the US, including a Las Vegas palace that doubles as a museum to his success.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're ready to go.
Okay, so let me know. Head over to Clay Lacey and go over to Vegas. So let me know what time you're gonna land so I can send him over there, and then Dan can get on a plane also. Okay?
Floyd didn't just accumulate wealth, he weaponized it, turning his riches into a personal brand built on excess, invincibility, and spectacle. In interview after interview, he positioned himself as the ultimate success story, a man who came from nothing, mastered his craft, and translated that mastery into generational wealth. But more than just money, it was the illusion of infinite money that powered his persona. He didn't just earn it, he printed it, or so it seemed. And that's what made the $42 million deal so critical. It wasn't just about property, it was about proving the myth of Mayweather was still intact. Because if that deal wasn't what he said it was, what else wasn't real? For years, Floyd Mayweather sold the image of a man untouchable by the financial pitfalls that ensnare other athletes. But behind the Instagram filters and million-dollar smiles, cracks began to surface, and the voices calling them out have only grown louder. One of the first high-profile skeptics was Chael Sonnen, a former UFC fighter known for his brutal honesty. In interviews, Sonnen scoffed at Mayweather's claims of earning $300+ million in a single night.
First off, he's never gotten $100 million for a fight. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete over Christian Ronaldo.
You think it's bullshit?
I know it is.
So if you had to guess, what do you think's the most Floyd ever made in a fight?
Insisting instead that the most he's made in one fight is probably around $60 million. And even that's generous. According to Sonnen, Floyd's empire wasn't as bulletproof as it seemed. Floyd didn't save, he spent, he remarked, warning that the fighter's luxurious lifestyle was built on unstable ground. Then came Logan Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer who stepped into the ring with Mayweather in a heavily hyped exhibition. The fight itself was a spectacle, but what followed was even more damning. Paul publicly claimed Mayweather never paid him the $3 million he was owed, alleging he was being strung along with vague promises and back-end pay-per-view shares that never materialized.
Late 40s now, still fighting with these random people in random places.
Yeah.
For 5 million here, 10 million there.
No, he's just a big spender. You can't spend like that, you know? Like,
This guy has a lot of chains.
so many chains, bro. Chains, that's a depreciating asset.
His frustration spilled onto social media, painting Floyd not as a financial genius, but as someone struggling to maintain appearances. He doesn't have the money, Paul suggested bluntly. I don't know where it went, but I haven't seen my cut. These weren't isolated incidents. Whispers from industry insiders began to echo the same tune. Floyd wasn't broke in the conventional sense, but he was cash-strapped. Exhibition fights, once seen as novelty events, started to look more like lifelines. With each appearance, often against influencers or lesser-known fighters, Floyd would secure a hefty payday. But to critics, these weren't legacy-defining bouts. They were quick cash grabs, designed to fund a lifestyle that had become increasingly difficult to sustain. The empire, it seemed, wasn't crumbling, but it was running on fumes. Every flashy purchase, every televised flex started to look less like dominance and more like desperation. A man once defined by wealth now appeared to be chasing it.
It was crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million.
Beneath the surface of Floyd Mayweather's obsession with wealth lies a deeper, more complex question. Is he a visionary businessman or simply a brand built on the illusion of invincibility? Mayweather has long positioned himself as more than just a boxer. He's called himself the best ever, not only for his undefeated record, but for his ability to turn prize fighting into a personal goldmine. He often emphasizes that he's not in the sport for glory, but for profit. Legacy doesn't pay bills, he once said. I'm in the check-cashing business. That philosophy may have worked in the ring, but outside it, the line between business strategy and reckless opulence has grown increasingly blurred. Take his claims about generational wealth. Floyd frequently speaks about setting his children and grandchildren up for life. He's shared plans to pass on businesses, encourage entrepreneurial thinking, and stop giving them handouts. I told them no more money just for asking, he said in a rare moment of vulnerability.
Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight?
They need to learn how to build on what I started. On paper, it's a commendable vision, but that message is often undermined by his actions. Splashing millions in casinos, tipping pilots thousands of dollars just for turbulence, and taking payment for endorsing shady cryptocurrency projects without vetting their legitimacy. His involvement in the Centra Tech scandal, where he and DJ Khaled promoted a fraudulent crypto company that defrauded investors, further complicated his image. Even if Floyd didn't know the full extent of the scam, the perception was damning. He took the check, said the lines, and walked away while regular people lost money. It raised the question, does Mayweather's hustle come with any moral compass? Or is it just about stacking paper at any cost?
Where did you get that business sense? Because you surpassed everybody in boxing and sports and everything in general. I'm watching you as like, you bigger than the NFL franchise.
Snoop Dogg, a longtime associate, once made a subtle but cutting distinction. Floyd's rich, I'm wealthy. That one-liner hit harder than any punch. For Snoop, wealth means sustainability, community, passing knowledge down through generations. For Floyd, critics argue wealth is a photo op. Chris Eubank Sr. echoed similar sentiments, criticizing Mayweather not for his skill, but for his persona. He represents bling and excess, Eubank said. But does that make him the best? Or just the best at branding himself? It's a question that cuts to the heart of Mayweather's identity. Is he the greatest defensive boxer of all time? A savvy investor? A cultural icon? or just the best self-marketer the sport has ever seen? And more importantly, when the lights fade and the exhibition checks stop clearing, what will be left of the legacy he built? There's a certain rhythm to Floyd Mayweather's social media presence, a curated carousel of high-end cars, private jets, diamond-encrusted timepieces, and all-cash stacks laid out like trophies. It's not just content, it's a performance. And at the center of it is a man who has built an entire empire, not just on what he owns, but on what he can make people believe he owns.
You know, every time I got around my billionaire buddies, I was more like, it's cool to come over your house, but I need a house like this. It's cool to ride on your yacht, but I need a yacht like this. It's cool to ride on your jet, but I want a jet like this.
Mayweather's Instagram lifestyle is relentless and meticulously maintained. The posts are frequent, flashy, and unmistakably on-brand. He isn't just flexing wealth, he's performing it, projecting an image of financial immortality. But beneath the glossy surface, something more fragile lurks. The pressure to keep the illusion alive. Because in Mayweather's world, to stop showing success is to risk people thinking you've lost it altogether. In this constant pursuit of validation, the line between marketing and self-deception becomes dangerously thin. Psychologists might call it wealth signaling, a phenomenon where individuals feel compelled to demonstrate financial power, even when it no longer aligns with reality. In Floyd's case, every new post feels like part of a larger strategy, not just to flaunt success, but to outrun the rumors. And the stakes are high.
And I said, no, I don't want to ride on yours. You show me how to get it. You can't be my friend if you can't show me how to get it. Once they show me how to get it, then I can install it in my children.
It's a bloodline thing.
Yes, it's about wealth. You know, I'm no longer rich, I'm wealthy.
For a man who's turned money into a personal brand, any hint of financial strain threatens the entire persona. That's why even modest delays, like the public dispute with Logan Paul over an unpaid $3 million, take on outsized significance. In most business deals, that's a hiccup, but in Mayweather's orbit, it's a crack in the armor. Because if people stop believing Floyd is rich, then what is he selling? This leads to a troubling question. Is Mayweather still celebrating his success, or desperately trying to protect the illusion of it? From the outside, the life looks flawless, but the reality of maintaining this empire of perception is exhausting. Each flashy car, each diamond watch, each impromptu trip on a jet isn't just an indulgence, it's a requirement. It's how the brand survives. But what happens when the brand needs to keep spending just to stay relevant? That's when the illusion of wealth becomes a trap.
Everybody that got their own jet, you always got to tip your pilots no matter what. I don't care if it's a couple hundred, a couple thousand, you got to tip your pilots. Now,
in the end, Floyd Mayweather stands as a paradox. A man who rose from nothing to become one of the richest, most recognizable athletes in the world, yet now finds himself shadowed by doubts about the very thing he built his empire on: money. On one side, he's still the undefeated champ, a symbol of what's possible when talent meets hustle. He turned boxing into a billion-dollar industry, redefined the athlete as entrepreneur model, and gave millions of fans a real-life rags-to-riches story to believe in. His brand, built on discipline, confidence, and unapologetic wealth, has inspired generations. But on the other side, there's a growing narrative that he may also be the ultimate cautionary tale. The man who made hundreds of millions yet may have spent himself into a corner. The businessman who endorsed shady ventures just to keep the income flowing. The fighter who still laces up the gloves, not for greatness, but for solvency. What happens if the money is truly gone? What if the $42 million real estate flex is more facade than fact? What if the exhibition fights are less about passion and more about paying off the past? These questions hang in the air, unanswered, and perhaps intentionally so. Because Floyd Mayweather has always controlled his narrative. He shows you what he wants you to see and nothing more. And maybe that's the final, most masterful move of his career, to keep everyone guessing. Is he still the king of cash? Or just playing the part one last time? The bell hasn't rung yet, but the silence between rounds is starting to feel louder than ever. Alright guys, for the best updates on boxing news, moments, events, and actions, subscribe to Knockout Updates and turn on notifications to never miss out on quality content, and check out our other videos. Until next time, peace out.